Hello, everybody, and hello. My name is Simon Sutton, and I'm part of the Spear training team. And today, I wanted to actually create an interview with the founder, Alex Fairman. And some of you watching this video, you may never heard of Spear before. And Spear is, you could say, a 21st century education program, a brotherhood, a warriorhood, if you will, of a group of men that have come together in order to create a series of training programs, both online and in person, in order to really revolutionize the way that we educate ourselves and the youth of today, moving all the way through adulthood. So Alex might say it slightly different than that, but I'd like to welcome Alex Fairman and just say thank you for going along with this and allowing me to interview you today.
Simon, that was very well articulated, and I'm glad to be here and excited to share what this is really all about.
So with that in mind, as you both know, sometimes I record conversations, but today I really want the focus to be on you and just put the limelight on you and just to ask a couple of key questions. And for the people viewing, just so you know, this is going to be about, we're going to cap this around 15, 20 minutes. It's just a short interview. And because I really feel that when Alex speaks, when he shares what this is all about, to me and to the team, there's such a beautiful passion in that. And there's no pressure on Alex today, but there's such a beautiful passion in that. And authenticity and integrity is why I'm part of the Spear team. So Alex, I'd like to just dive in with the first question and just say, in your words, what is Spear?
All right, so Spear is what I think so many of us would have wished we had growing up, what we would have wished we had in our 20s. You know, as a man, you go through the education system and it doesn't really teach you the real world skills you need. I think I was very frustrated by it. And the more men I talk to, the more men feel this sense of being let down, unprepared for the real world, right? I mean, we live in a world driven by money, and yet financial literacy and understanding the game of money is not taught to us in school. And it's like, why is that? You know, we live in a world that is driven by your relationships and your ability to speak to people and your ability to understand people. And yet social skills, basic psychology is not something that's required while we're pushing math and geometry and you know, ancient history in our classes. And so, you know, Spear was first and foremost a response to fill in all of those gaps within us and not only fill them in, but make men very strong in each of these areas of their lives, which they didn't get the training in school that they should have. But that is only the beginning of what Spear is. Spear is also an inspired quest. And in life, you know, I think a lot of men struggle with motivation of why we should really care about our real lives when there's so many great digital entertainment options out there to distract ourselves with. We have so many movies and video games and TV shows that we can watch. We can work our 9 to 5 and get by. Why should we go through the pain and the challenge of really doing something extraordinary with our lives? And I think part of that goes back to the story that we tell ourselves about who we are and why we're here. And so Spear puts the perspective of, we have a short life to live and we can do incredible things. We can make our real life our video game. We can make our real life our epic movie, but we have to have that mindset and we have to have that community that surrounds us of men who are thinking the same way and who are investing all of their energy in the real world and in being the best man they can be and doing something that actually matters with their lives. Because, you know, I think that we live at a time of, Simon, as you know, of great change. And men who are stepping up to create the solutions that the world needs, men who are stepping up to be the leaders that the world needs, need that community and that brotherhood where they can be supported, where they can receive the training they need, and really where we can inspire each other. And that is really what Spear is about. It's a training plus high performance community that has near and dear to my heart. You know, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different men. who are in different places in their life. So I mean, I could go on and on.
No, that's lovely. Good, beautiful. So then I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. You sort of shared some there, but I'm gonna ask, the next question is why? Like, just, and just in a nutshell, why spear? And people watching this, we're at the second month of launch. We have a small select group of men already going through the program, and we're just moving into March's launch, where we're going to open up the space to allow men to come into this. And why spear? From Alex's perspective, why is spear needed? And then you sort of just touched on that, but maybe give it another layer of the personal, of why,
Right. Okay.
why. Yeah.
All right. So for me, here's my little bit of my story. I went through the education system. I was super frustrated. But it's deeper than just the education system not coming through. It's a failure of our entire society to inspire the young men of our generation to be great. And it's something where we don't have the male role models. We don't have the mentors. Many of us don't have fathers growing up. And if we do have fathers, even those who have fathers, maybe they're working 80 hours a week, and so they're not even present at home. And so you have a whole generation of men growing up without clear sense of what our priorities should be. And certainly school education system doesn't inspire us to live into our heroic potential. We're basically told to get by. And so we're programmed from a very early age, and I was programmed from an early age to be mediocre, to do just the bare minimum to get by, to play it safe, not to take risks. And I was never taught how to believe in my bigger visions or how to execute on them, right? Like, it's one of these things that we don't get instilled in us, that drive for greatness. And I saw so many of my peers in my mid-20s, right, working jobs that they didn't like, doing a 9-to-5 that they didn't really like, but it was money, and so we did it. And I reflected on that, and I thought, this is a waste of human potential. We have such greatness in us as men. I grew up, we all grew up watching these superhero movies, right? We watch these ancient stories of great leaders doing amazing things, that I felt like our real life should be like that. We should make our real life something we're proud of, something we want to tell our kids about, something that when we're at the end of our life, we can appreciate. And so for me personally, it was like, what is the most exciting thing I want to do with my life? And it's build a brotherhood of extraordinary men and change the world. So Spear is about training a group of men who think differently and who think bigger and who hold themselves to a higher standard and who work harder and train harder and learn more and work together to launch our visions of how we can create a more beautiful and fun and just world. And that's literally that's what we're doing as a part of this community. This is a launch pad for greatness. And it's a place where you'll find other people who have the same mindset of doing more than just getting by. And that's what I wanted to surround myself with. And as far as my personal story goes too, I mean, Simon, we really got to know each other when I was in Malta. And while I was there, I was going around kind of taking a break from life, taking a break from the 9-to-5. I'd gotten a good job and worked at for a few years and made some money. And I was there to decompress. And it was that moment of being out there on the island of Malta, really with you and the rest of the gang, of reflecting on why am I here and why am I alive? And when we look at where the world is going too, I wanted to prepare a group that was able to respond to where the world is heading. Many people don't understand the statistics and the trends of where the world is heading. Maybe many people don't know that, right now we're in an age of unprecedented entrepreneurship, where if you want to start your own business or launch your own idea, it has never been a better time for that. And so if you have creative visions that you want to make real, this is the time to do it. And nobody really, even if you go to school for business, they don't teach you how to actually do it. They just have you read theories, read case studies, and, look over theory. So this is a time for launching all of our biggest dreams. And that's what I'm all about, is doing that.
Lost you.
So, I mean, there's so many levels to this story. What my fascination with the Knights of the Templar, or, my my inspiration to really respond to all of these figures out there, because I see men who are suffering as well, which is another big part of this. Is we're all out there, and different parts of our lives have big wounds that we need to heal, that we need to work on. And it's easy to avoid those parts of our lives that are the disaster zones, right? Every man has a couple areas that he's got down, like he's good at physical fitness, he takes care of his health, he's in the gym all the time, but his finances are in terrible shape. Or maybe his finances are in great shape, but he is just totally incompetent when it comes to approaching women or dealing with his romantic relationships. And so he's blocked that part of his life out because there's pain. And if he doesn't have the strength to go in and work on that himself, how is he going to ever heal that area, right? And, the same could be said for men who are working 80, 90-hour weeks, but who are stressed out and don't understand how to achieve a balance in life and integrate meditation into their lives. And so we've all got these areas where we need the support and we need the coaching, and we need to get honest with ourselves first and foremost, because most of us as men have been taught to be strong, right, Simon? We don't cry, we don't ask for help, but we have to learn how to actually go out and seek out the help we need and admit to ourselves first and foremost that some things in our lives are not working. We need to make them better, and that process is not always easy, especially if you're operating alone.
Right. And often, just to throw in there, that we don't know how or where to ask for that help, which is really, and the avenues that we've been given are often, they're just outdated.
Yeah.
Just, it's not to put anything down. It's not to put anything down in any way, but there's just outdated ways of us being able to connect to those deeper parts of ourselves and to get to know ourselves on a much deeper level, and then how we can really influence ourselves, our communities, our towns, our cities, and the world. So that's wonderful. Thank you for that. That was an in-depth answer. So again, so bringing it round and just thinking about time and keeping it nice and succinct. So you just touched on some of the things that are in Spear, but for people that have just come onto this and they're going to listen to this little interview, maybe why have you chosen the areas that you've chosen and called in the trainers that you've called in those areas for the young men and the men that are out there that are going to be choosing this? So
we wanted to look at what would forge a full spectrum man, an incredible man, somebody who had taken care of every aspect of his life. And we built the curriculum around all of these pillars that makes up a great life. And it starts with your physical fitness and health, right? That's why Mitch Ryan, AKA Super Beast, joined the team, and he has worked with professional athletes, and he is someone who really understands the world of fitness. And that's like the foundation, right? If your physical health is there, you set yourself up for success financially. You set yourself up for success socially. People look at you different when you walk into a room and they know you've been taking care of your body. And you have more energy levels, more confidence, right? So physical health is the foundation, and right after that, we go up to John, who is a social coach, and we work a lot on your social skills and social development, being able to overcome the negative voices in your head and have a conversation with anyone, anywhere, is a skill set that every 21st century man needs. Being able to understand that the voices in your head that are telling you, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, all these things are purely voices that can be changed and can be reprogrammed. And the whole social skill set of learning to read body language, learning to read the face, learning to understand how to carry on a conversation, right? These are all skills that we're not taught in school, but that are, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you want to do with your life, it's going to involve talking to and meeting people, right? So that's phase number 2. And Sean, who is an entrepreneur, real estate investor, we brought him in because he really understands the game of money. And most people do not understand the game, especially in the middle class who's getting crushed right now. is that the game of money really is not what we weren't taught about it. And we've been taught, most of us grow up with a scarcity mentality. We don't understand that there's a ton of opportunity out there. We don't understand how to capitalize on it. Some of us feel that making money is very hard. We feel that we live in a lack, like we don't have enough. And that mentality is really burned into us from a very early age. And we see everything through the eyes of that lack. And so Sean teaches men how to overcome that, how to take practical steps to financial freedom, because that's really what I think the quest for money is about freedom. Yeah, the house and the car is nice, but it's really about having the freedom to do what you want with your life and your time. And so we explore entrepreneurship, which is something that every man today needs to understand, because we're all becoming entrepreneurs, whether we like it or not. So entrepreneurship, financial literacy is the third pillar. And we also, Simon, I mean, part of what you bring and the expertise that you bring to the table is your ability to communicate with clarity and transparency. We all have to get honest with ourselves first and with the world. And that's where our great power comes from, the ability to speak the truth into each and every situation, into each and every interaction. And that's, Simon, you've taught me so much about this over the years that it was like, how could I not bring you on and have you as in that role? Because the gift you have to give the men of this world is huge. Just what you teach alone about how to speak your truth has enough firepower to open so many doors and change people's reality, really. And we brought David Beaudry in, who works with professional athletes and coaches them on the spiritual side of life, on meditation and mindfulness. We live in an age where there's so much stress and anxiety that if you don't take the time to do a mindfulness practice, you're going to be wasting time, thinking you're working hard, but not working smart. You're going to be stressing yourself out unnecessarily, pulling years off of your life. You're going to be, putting yourself in fight or flight mind, which is essentially saying you're more anxious and worried than you need to be biologically, because you're triggering the adrenaline response from your fight or flight response in life. And David shows you how to calm your mind, how to develop that laser-like focus so that whatever you're doing, you can do it well, you can do it effectively. And what I bring to the table as well is this understanding of life mastery and how the whole puzzle fits together, how to build the right goals for yourself and your path, how to hold men accountable to those goals, how to actually build systems in your life that work for you, right? So that you're not frantically scattered and you're able to get everything done you need to get done. And you are the master of your life. You are the commander of your life.
Right.
So, it's a huge curriculum when you break it down. And it's really everything the modern man needs for success in this world and for fulfillment within himself. And, as you're listening to that, I'm sure every one of us has some areas that we're strong in, but every one of us has areas that we know we need to work on. And that's what Spear is about, is taking the time to invest in yourself to become the full spectrum man who can achieve whatever it is that your life's mission is. Not what your society tells you, not what your family told you, but what you deep down in your heart know you want to do with your time here, because it's short and special. All right, rant over.
Nice, lovely. It's about, I just had a conversation about this actually. It's about purifying. It's about really purifying and refining who we are as men and human beings. And Spear, down the line may move into also creating a space for women as well, and also bringing women trainers in. And we have also Luke Baxley is part of the fitness team as well, alongside Mitch. And on top of that, we're talking about nutrition. There's going to be an element on nutrition, and also sexuality and what sexuality means. And that's the beautiful thing about this brotherhood, this warriorhood, as I'm calling it here, is that the team together collectively brings so much different dynamics. So we're constantly working with each other as well on what we can bring as men collectively to the men that are out there that need this support. And I think what I want to do is I close this, because I think that's enough time on this one, Alex, just for a little dive in. But yeah. I want to sort of close this and say, if you're a man and you're watching this, one of the things that I want to bring through from a very authentic place is that one of the hardest things to do in this day and age right now is communicate, right? And communicate a message that wants to come from the heart, but has to go and carve through all the noise and all of the competition. And we're not even in competition at Spear. This is the key thing. We're not out to compete with it. If there's another 20 programs like this coming into the world, great. There's room for it, because we have been inundated by education that is not coming from this conscious level and not coming from what the basis and foundation of Alex's vision, mission, and heart is communicating this evening. And this video, this is just one first video that I wanted to create. And we created this really with an intention. And it's not to somehow coerce you into something. The intention is that we have decided as a collective, as a brotherhood, that the 30 days initial training, which was just 30 days training, which is a little taste of each of the trainers, just to get an idea to meet us. Initially, we were actually putting out there and charging men to do that, but we changed it. We wanted to come from a place of what can we give, not what can we get. So now, by jumping a few hurdles, by really committing and saying you want to do this, by dedicating yourself to the 30 days that we've put together, that we've all put together, over the last 6 months, coming together on multiple calls. And Alex has been working to the grind constantly for longer than 6 months. And what we've put together in this 30 days is a sample. It's an invitation. Now, if you commit to that, then it's like, are you willing to come with us, for a year? Yeah. Are you willing to come with us and join that training and dive in with us and have the one-to-ones and have the in-person meets and join the events if you're based in San Diego? This is what it's about. We're creating a community, not just this is not an online course. This is an opportunity for you to really make change. So that's really why I wanted to interview Alex tonight. I just wanted to show up and share that. And I'm over in Malta. It's nighttime for me. Set up my little lighting system, and Alex is over there in the morning. So that's what I wanted to say, Alex. If there's anything you want to add in closing to that, feel free. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for showing up this morning and answering those questions.
Thanks, Simon. That was great. And I just want to close with saying my deep reason, as well, for doing everything that I'm doing is I want to see every man reach to understand what his full potential is and reach it. And the more we can do that, the better this world is going to become. The more of us step into our power, the more of us achieve a fully balanced life, the better the world will become. So it is not just a call for Spear, but it's a call for doing the work you have to do on yourself and making that a part of who you are, and taking that path very seriously, because our life is so short. So like Simon said, if you guys want to come and experience what we've created and level up your real lives, come join us for 30 days. And we'll have a link posted after this. And Simon, we're going to be doing a lot more live video kind of stuff, just sharing the journey, sharing honestly where we're all at as the trainers, what's going on with us. You get to see a little bit more about who we are, as well as what this is all about. So yeah, thank you, Simon, for taking the time to do this interview with me.
Great pleasure. All the best. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.